Hi, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yep.
My name is Butch Hendershot. I'm running for re-election. I've been honored that you have elected me 4 consecutive terms to the City Council. I'd like to be re-elected. I love Cumberland. I think that we're improving as a city. I believe that. I'm either out in left field or we are actually improving, and I'd like to continue to be part of that effort. We're going to have a lot of turnover this year on the council. I have 16 years of experience. I have a lot of leadership, and again, I'd like the opportunity to use those assets with you for at least another term. Thank you for letting me be here tonight.
That question for an incumbent that I held before.
Okay.
The incumbent city council members have all claimed that street repair is a priority. Yet in December, the council voted to transfer $654,000 out of the dedicated street repair fund to cover a deficit in the general fund. If street repair is a priority, why did the council take that action?
I don't think that's accurate information. I don't think that we took money out of the dedicated fund. And by the way, I want to just mention that this is an example of a number of questions that have been asked already where there's an answer for it, but because of the style of a forum that you've elected to use tonight, we haven't been able to mention that. So I want to take this time to just say to the residents of Decatur Street that I went to the traffic group in the city of Cumberland and asked them specifically to restrict tractor-trailer traffic through your neighborhood, and that has been granted. But I believe they, and Bob, I should have simply communicated this to you, I believe they opted to wait until after the construction on Henderson is complete, because they will be directing tractor-trailer traffic all the way down Baltimore and on to Henderson and then up Frederick, where there's a much greater turning radius, as opposed to off of your street here on Decatur. So you can expect that to happen in the near future. That's an example of something that has happened that we're not able to answer to or respond to because of the stop. So again, just to get back to your question, that is just simply not accurate as far as I'm concerned. As far as I know, I don't think that we took money out of that debt. You know, the budget's a complicated thing, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend I understand the budget all the time. There's a $30-some million budget in the city of Cumberland. That's a lot of money. That greatly exceeds my household budget. I don't know about you. So, and I'm not trained to do that. I don't know if you're aware that your elected officials are part-time. We all work other jobs. I work in mental health, for example. So when I come into the meeting and I see the budgets on the agenda and I've read it, I've read up on it as best I can. We get the meeting packets delivered to us. Of course, they're made available to everybody online. It's a hard thing to try to understand, but I don't think that happened. I saw Mr. Grimm shaking his head no, so Pete's doing the same thing, I think. So I don't think that's accurate information.
Can I clarify the question? It was my question that I asked. It was in December of last year, trying to cover the deficit in the general fund. The $650,000 was for the water line on Washington Street. It came out of the water, you took the money from the street fund to the water fund, and from the water fund to the general fund. So essentially you're taking money from the street fund, where the taxes were raised to fix the streets, and it went into the general fund.
Yeah, Mark, again, as you know, I'm sure, the budget's a complicated thing. Now, we may have taken money from one fund, put it in here, transferred money from another one. Maybe some money was transferred back into the street fund. That may have happened, but we feel very strongly that the money that's in there for streets will pay for streets. We know our streets need repair. Like I think Pete mentioned, we've had the fortune of having a lot of money come in through the Recovery Act, through President Obama. So we've had money come in that way, which has allowed us to divert some other money perhaps. Maybe that's what happened too. Again, the budget's a complicated animal. I'm not going to sit up here and say I understand it. Like I've already said, I don't know if anybody up here could really thoroughly understand it. But we do feel very strongly that we're going to hit our streets good and hard, and I hope that you're going to soon see some of the benefit. You see it going. Anybody see any street construction going on out there? It's happening all over the city. So there's streets being repaired right and left right now.
Well,
Should be geared towards younger people, like amusement parks, water parks, that kind of stuff, convention centers, concerts, all this kind of stuff. We got all our tourism geared towards coming in and see some old buildings that's 100 years old that's half broken down.
Okay.
All the old buildings on Washington Street, all the fancy big buildings, they're no longer what's called historical building, the old apartment buildings down there, 4 or 5 apartment buildings.
And your name, sir?
My name is Bob Peck.
Mr. Peck. Okay, all righty. Yeah, I've met you before. You're with the VA, I think, right? Yeah. Hey, just real quick, and then I'll turn the mic over. I'm sorry if it seems like I'm trying to monopolize. I'm not. But people ask that question about tourism, not so much about the children. That's an interesting question you've got there, Mr. Peck. But people say all the time, why the tourism? Why do they do the tourism here? It's not working. Hey, George Washington walked our streets. We have the western terminus of the C&O Canal. We have some of the most beautiful architecture of any town like Cumberland in the country. We happen to have been blessed with natural resources and beautiful mountains and all kinds of reasons why people would want to leave the city and come spend a long weekend. So I never poo-poo tourism. There's good reasons why we emphasize tourism up here in Mountain, Maryland. But your question about children is a good one. I'm going to give up the mic here and see if there's other ideas about that. Hi, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
yep.
My name is Butch Hendershot. I'm running for re-election. I've been honored that you have elected me 4 consecutive terms to the City Council. I'd like to be re-elected. I love Cumberland. I think that we're improving as a city. I believe that. I'm either out in left field or we are actually improving, and I'd like to continue to be part of that effort. We're going to have a lot of turnover this year on the council. I have 16 years of experience. I have a lot of leadership. And again, I'd like the opportunity to use those assets with you for at least another term. Thank you for letting me be here tonight.